Hello, I'm Claire Colton. I work for Lancaster University, and today I'm going to be telling you about one of the short Phase 2 research studies that we did on Sharing City. So what we found was that from early childhood we're taught to share. It's the first lesson our carers give us. So we learn to share our food, our toys, and as we grow older and become a part of the wider community, we find ourselves sharing bus journeys and lessons and bedrooms with our siblings, things like that. So what does this mean for cities? So we discovered that cities have always historically been sites of sharing. People had to share their workloads, they had to share space, food, skills, they had to share trade opportunities in order to survive. Understanding what was important about sharing cities, what we believe on the project was that if people shared more, we'd be consuming less stuff. And this would lead to using less carbon and using less non-renewable resources. And it's also been proven in the research literature that sharing more contributes to our sense of well-being. So if we can do something that makes us happier and we meet more people in our communities, then why not do more of that? First, we began by doing an academic review, and we wanted to see the types of sharing that went on in the city. And then secondly, we conducted 2 workshops with local people, one in Lancaster and one in Birmingham, to see actually what was going on at grassroots level in the cities and what the cities themselves were doing to promote sharing. So what did we find out? Well, we found out that the most common types of sharing that people talked about was that they shared space, they shared skills and knowledge, and they shared objects and food. So some examples that we found was that a group of people, local people shared some chickens and then they distributed the eggs. People were sharing boxes of wine glasses for parties. People shared allotments and that kind of thing. So another example that we found was that sharing could often be on 2 or 3 levels. So some people shared a community garden. So here they were sharing their skills in gardening, but they were also sharing the space of the garden, and they were sharing the produce that around that they then cooked and enjoyed together. 3 things that emerged from the findings was that hubs were key to sharing. So when we talk about hubs, we mean physical hubs and digital hubs. So a physical hub would be something like a library where people could come and share the space and meet and engage in activities. And another example of a digital hub is, say, a Facebook page where sharing initiative might be promoted and shared out. Another really important key finding was that bridges, relational bridges, but also physical bridges, were really important and key in stimulating and amplifying sharing. So a physical bridge, obviously, would be something that connects communities to one another, say Lancaster and Morecambe. So there's actually a physical bridge there that connects the 2 communities and people can go back and forth. And a digital bridge we found was something like a web page. So in this case, we found that Virtual Lancaster bridged and connected people with gardens to people who didn't have gardens but wanted to do gardening and to grow vegetables and something like that. So that was the bridges and hubs that emerged from the findings. And our final the thing that we found was that we need to promote sharing. We don't need to tell people, though, that they have to share, because people are already doing a lot of sharing. But what cities can do is to promote sharing by perhaps organising a sharing market or something like that. The second thing that cities could do to promote sharing is to remove barriers and red tape. So something that quite a few of the people mentioned was that they would like a community kitchen, say in a school kitchen, but they can't access them. So that was something that cities could do. And so if cities could do any of these things, we felt that this would really contribute to a more livable city that improved everybody's well-being. Thank you.